So many people call themselves God and goddesses. And it's one of the pet peeves that I have because there are literally people who are living way, way, way down in their root chakra, yet still they call themselves God. So they consider themselves God simply because they may have melanin, or they believe that because they're from a specific bloodline that entitles them to just being a god. And that's actually not the case at all. One of the reasons why we decided to start the alternative space was so that we can begin teaching you how to become gods. Because you all, not you all, but I'm talking to the general masses, you have seed potential, okay? That means that you have DNA in your body that has literally been shut down. So you're never going to reach your God potential unless you reactivate, unless you do the necessary work that brings those genetic DNA strands back online. So a lot of individuals think that, oh, it's just detoxing, or oh, it's just shadow work. And that's not the case at all. There's a lot of things that go into doing this work, and depending on who you talk to, you may get a lot of different answers or different formulas in order to do that. I myself am a indigo starseed. My blood, it has a particular genetic makeup for a specific purpose. That whole purpose was so that I could hold certain frequencies, and there's others like me, tons of others like me. This channel is going to be dedicated to teaching who these individuals are and exactly what you should be doing. It's not for everybody, and I don't want to sound divisive when I say that, but I'm teaching the individuals who have already been called. They've already heard, that they have a mission. And anytime you awaken to this particular part of the mission, your higher guidance, which is actually your higher multidimensional selves, will bring you in alignment with a teacher who has the answers to exactly what it is you need for right then. So that's why I'm saying I'm calling those individuals. There will be individuals who come simply because the information is intriguing, but won't be able to make any of this work. That's not a bad thing. It just means that it's not your time to make this stuff work, because it does take a minute for it to work. It is something that has been condensed down, but this is as far as we could condense it. This is the work that takes multiple lifetimes for you to bring your DNA back online. That's a very long process. You will die and come back 10 times before you do this work. But what we're doing now, because we have access to scalar vibrational frequencies and different quantum treatments, healing treatments, as well as some other things that I'll teach on later on, the combination of that will help bring your blood and your DNA back to where it's supposed to be rapidly. And it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's faster than the old process, but it still takes time and it still takes dedication. So you will have to be definitely you'll have to be involved, want to be involved in it every day, doing something every day. You're gonna need to be dedicated to it. It's a dedicated work, it honestly is, and that's one of the reasons why everybody doesn't see the results, because they don't stick to it. So anyway, again, the alternative space is a place where I'm going to teach a lot of different things, but it's all going to work together for helping you become a prime creator the way you should be, the way you were created to be. So a part of that is going to come from first learning what your bloodline genetics are, learning where you are right now and how to get your blood energized and back in balance, because that's what it's about. So one of the things that I was told years ago was, one of the keys to getting out of here is becoming your authentic self, because so many individuals are hive-minded, and a lot of the stuff that you look that you see in your everyday life that is normal. A lot of this stuff is actually put there, was actually created to be matrix constructs that keep you from being your authentic self. So for one, family. A lot of people pride themselves in family. They could never see themselves leaving from their family, disconnecting from their family. Whatever their family is doing or expects them to do, that's the path that they're going to take. A lot of people don't even realize family is a matrix construct, and it's one of the main reasons why the black sheep of the family will always, literally always be the only one that goes against the grain, that does their own thing, that ends up being estranged from the family. Why is that? That black sheep usually turns out to be a star seed or an earth seed or a light worker, somebody who is completely against, who sees the system and realizes that this is not right. They're the ones who the family will look down their nose at because they either walked away from the church when the whole family was Baptist, go to church every Sunday, everybody religious, because your mama was religious, and her mama was religious, and on and on and on, all the way back to the plantation. And so you'll have those individuals who decide to do something completely different, or you'll have that black sheep where everybody went to school, went to college, and got some kind of degree, and became a lawyer or a doctor, and got some kind of profession, and the black sheep will drop out of school and go on their own way, become a hippie, or somebody out there that's just living day by day. You'll see a lot of that. What's so interesting too is that I realized that a lot of individuals who became bums on the streets, or street walkers, like the prostitutes and women out there, as well as individuals who ended up in crazy homes, when you really sit down and talk to these people, when you talk to them, you'll realize that they have, number one, a connection to their galactic family. So they're hearing voices, individuals are speaking to them, and when they try to tell the other high-minded matrix bots about it, of course, they look crazy because you're in an inverted system. It's crazy to hear voices, even though a lot of the black sheep have direct communication. That's why we have a different frequency of blood that cannot be, first of all, it's karmicless blood, and then you cannot be cloned. Now, you can have implants put in you. I had an implant in me, and I had to have it removed by my star family. Now, that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but when you realize what star seeds is, that'll make sense. So we get tracked. As soon as we come into the planet, we are tracked. One of the reasons why they remove the blood type off of the birth certificate. The hospitals know, the government know who you are, but you have no idea who you are. They remove all this information from any of the internet. You could never find anything on RH negatives. You could not find anything. It's been hidden. It's now coming back online, and we are here to help bring that information back. Now, for some of you people who love having sources, listen to what I'm going to say very clearly. I will give you a source when a source is available. There's a lot of information where I'm going to say, I am the source. I will tell you, I am the source, because when we do the detoxing, the proper detoxing, we start taking our proper supplements, star seeds will wake up with information. A lot of times I wake up knowing stuff. I wake up with instructions, and people will turn around and be like, what's the source? I'm the source. I literally am. But because I know that that's the way humans operate, because you don't have a frame of spiritual reference, so you have to have some type of tangible source or something you want to see it in a book. I have asked my team specifically, when you tell me something, can you please give me a confirmation where somebody else is saying the exact same thing that you told me, the exact same thing that I brought down to them, because otherwise they're not gonna think that it's true. So many times, if you following this information, you will see I will come back with a confirmation that somebody else said around the same time I said it, so that you can know that it's literally coming from the divine realm. It's coming into the planet, because everything that has ever been here has been stolen. It's been distorted. So yes, there's an abundance of information. I say this a lot. There's abundance of information, but every single thing almost has been tampered with, distorted, and twisted to the advantage of the controllers. So yeah, you all have tons of information, but what's real? I could not tell you, because there's a measure of truth in everything. They have to put that measure of truth in there. Otherwise, they're violating your free will. But if you're not a seeker, if you don't have heightened spiritual awareness and discernment, it's very hard to decipher between truth and between facts and fiction, because they do this thing called paltering, where they'll tell you partial truth. They tell you enough of the holy truth, or let's say divine. I don't want to say holy. Sorry about that. Let's say divine truth, because a lot of you all have that encrypted in you. So when you hear it, you know that you've heard it before. It gets your attention, and now you want to follow that person. And then, as soon as they know they got you hook, line, and sinker, they start putting in their truth. They start distorting it to get you swayed off of the path back to yourself. That's what's going on. So what was the solution to that? The solution to that was to send in individuals who would incarnate, then be born in here and pop up in different and random bloodlines, pop up in random families, and then those individuals would come in with an encryption and with a set time clock to activate at a certain time. When they began activating, at that point in time, the ones who became awake and aware would start getting downloaded information to sneak it into this realm. I hope that makes sense to everybody. They would sneak it in. At that point, we are to start teaching it to the humans. Now, Yeshua did the same thing. He incarnated in, but see, the controllers knew that he was coming, and so they decided to schedule a mass murder of all the little boys under the age of 2, because they were trying to wipe him out to keep him from coming in and helping get the humans this information so that they can start to free themselves. So at one point in time, Yeshua, the Christ, let's call him the Christos, was here in the early 60s, and the United Nations got wind of that. They sent for him, and on the way over, they tried to wipe him out, tried to kill him, cut him up into pieces, and by the time they made it back, he had materialized in their office, one of their offices, and he said, well, because you tried to kill me so many times, I can't come back here again. However, there's going to come a time where there's going to be millions of me, and you won't be able to stop us all. And he disappeared. So now here we are, the Starseeds, the Christos bloodline. The Christos bloodline, who are connected to the real Yeshua, not the decoy, the real one, who was on the mission to come in and help free the humans that have been trapped here and enslaved. So when I bring you information, I'm not here to debate with you. I don't care if you believe it or not. I don't care if you do anything with it or not. This is not infotainment. I am here to give information to the ones who are meant to activate and develop their light so that they can become gods again, angelic humans. There are individuals who will gravitate towards this information who are not of that line. I can't make you be about that line, but if things that I'm saying is not resonating with you, that's your first cue. That's your first cue that this is not meant for you, because we have bots here, we have syntheticas, we have clones, we have hybrids, all types of people. Everybody here that looks human is not human and not meant to transcend to the next level. Okay? So I'm not going to spend my time fighting and debating and arguing with those individuals. I kind of know who's who by the things that you resonate with, by the things that you support and agree with. You know, and like I said, if you don't agree with it, it's not my place to try and make you agree with it. This is all blood encryption stuff. If it's meant for you, you'll get it. As soon as I say something, you'll be like, I ain't never heard that before, but it makes sense. Or I've heard that before and didn't know why I needed to dig and research on that. But here I am giving you the information. Okay, so let's get to it. Now, in order to become a prime creator again, or a god, and we're not just going to say it and wear waist beads and put turbans on our head and call ourselves gods and goddesses, because it's much, much more than that. Some of y'all just juicing and y'all think that that's it, just getting back into nature. That is not, that's not it. That's a lot of the false light and false ascension information that's being put out there, but I'm going to give you the real nitty gritty, because salvation happens within the cells, and just juicing and detoxing is not enough. You may juice your vessel, your internal organs, but we're talking about detoxing down into our cellular and molecular structure, and for that's going much deeper, and so I'm going to teach you some of that. Okay, so in order to become a prime creator again, your thoughts are commands. It's not just little silly information, silly little things popping up into your head. The ether sees and hears what it is you want to see, and then it goes about assembling that in your reality. See, gods create their own reality. You are not just a victim of your circumstances. When you become a god, when you become a prime creator with the universe, or a co-creator with the universe, you know that all the words that you speak out affect your quantum structure. Okay? That's the only thing that the ether is here to do, is to cast and manifest realities expected by the manifest gods. So the ether, really, the whole matrix, the ether is set up to manifest realities that you expect by the manifest God. So if you're a God, trust and believe, just because you aren't manifesting that brand new car, you aren't manifesting that promotion at your job, you are always manifesting. There are individuals that I have spoken to, that I have known for years, and they think that they're not manifesting, but they actually are manifesting the very thing that they talk about. I had a friend who I used to work with, and when I was trying to manifest my home, and I was real serious about it. I was hyper focusing, and I was trying to manifest my home. I tell this story in a podcast, but she would come to my office every day and complain about the guy, the baby daddy, the new boyfriend, the boyfriend mama, the bills, everything. She complained. She would come into my office literally to just dump it. And when she finished, she was like, "Oh, I feel so much better," and she would leave. When I was trying to manifest my house, I stopped her. I mean, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to tell her because she's so sweet. But one day I told her, I said, "Tiny," I said, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm trying to keep at the time I didn't know the verbiage, frequency and vibration, but I said, I'm trying to keep, what did I try to say? What did I say? I'm trying to stay on a high note. I'm trying to stay high. I'm trying to come higher. And I'm really trying to get this house. And I said, I got to keep my mind on positive, high things. And I said, please, if you're not coming in here to talk about something good, keep that to yourself, because I can't focus on that right now. Now, I would say that different today, but back then, that was the best that I knew. I just knew that every time she came in there, she brought my frequency down. I didn't know what it was called. I said spirit. I was like, you bring my spirit down, and I'm trying to get something. And she was like, oh, okay. I don't know if she took it personal or not, but listen to what I'm about to say. I manifested my home. My home ran me down. We actually had it built because it was the last house in this subdivision being built. A wealthy man had purchased it. He had ordered it a specific way. He put everything that he wanted in here. He had ordered it, and he ordered the top of the line everything. At the last minute, the man could not purchase the house. He got a promotion that moved him to Arizona, so it was still on the bank books, and they needed it off. Also, the buyer, the builders wanted it off too, because this would have closed out the subdivision. I just so happened to be in the right place at the right time, right? No, I manifested that, because when I walked in this home was everything that I had written down on my script, my heart's desire of what I wanted, down to my laundry room. So, to this day, my friend Tiny is still in an apartment, struggling and doing the best she can with her bills. She's still going back and forth with the children's dad and the new men and everything, and it's still drama. When I talk to her, it's still drama. I want y'all to know that was in 2000 when I manifest my home. 2008, I was believing for my home. I was pregnant. 2008, 2009. I moved into my house in 2009. It is 2022, and my friend has not moved much further than where she was back there. The only difference is her children are now grown and getting up out of the house, but she's still manifesting the very things that she talk about all day. Because you are powerful, you are manifest gods, but you are asleep. So the controllers have you manifesting their reality. You know how? By putting it on television. Whatever it is that they want for you to manifest, they put it on television, and then you turn around and talk about, girl, did you see the shooting at such and such? And oh my God, and this, that, and the other, and oh, I'm so scared because it's a murder out here. Oh my God, look at the gas prices. Y'all talk about it. You putting energy towards it, therefore you continue to create the very reality that they want you to create. Now remember, these controllers do not have these abilities. But because you're blind or you're asleep and don't realize your power, they take your power and make you use it to create their reality instead of you knowing how to use it and bring down your thoughts, correct your thoughts, so that you can in turn speak life into what it is you desire. Thought forms. Your words and your thoughts create forms, thought forms. And when you know how to use it properly, you can manifest your reality instead of doing the bidding of the controllers. Okay, it says if you do everything within your power to make your reality come true, the ether fills in the rest. It will not assist sloths who are not truly creators. Exactly. I hear people all the time sitting back. They talk about what they want, and they constantly are putting out a frequency of lack. You don't realize what thoughts, behaviors, and words create. So if you're sitting back and you silently or secretly envy someone else, if you're jealous of what someone else has, that frequency is being put into the ethers to say, I'm not a creator. I lack. I don't have enough. I don't experience abundance, and you know, I don't want abundance. That is what your frequency speaks to the ethers, and the ethers goes into high drive, overdrive, to create that for you. So when you walk out and you see that you're living below your means, stop and check your thoughts and stop and check your words, because a lot of people will, in the same sentence, say, I want this, I want that, I want this, and I want that, and then they'll turn around with those same words and chop down their blessing. They'll say, no, let me correct it. They'll say, I'm a God. I'm a powerful co-creator with the universe. And they'll turn around and say, I want a new car. I want better for me. I want better for me and my family. That word want should be taken out of your vocabulary. Okay? Because even if it is something you want, you don't want to ever say that. You want to say, my desire. I'm desiring. It's the desire of my heart. A desire and a want is different. Aspiring is an aspiration. An aspiration is different from a want. A want shows lack, and lack shows sloth and laziness. Okay? The only time you have control over your reality is when you are dictating what it is you expect to see by your creative thought waves, known as a creative conscious awareness. The only time you are in creative conscious awareness is when you are deliberately moving on a solid path to your own choosing. If you are following anyone and not carefully educating yourself and then making your own specific and informed plans, then you are allowing someone else to be your prime creator for you. This is a counterfeit life and will not be rewarded with even more powers and abilities in higher dimensions. You already have more powers than you can handle in this one, if this is the case. This is very important because I see a lot of people do it. I see a lot of people who look at other people, follow other people, want to do exactly what other people do, thinking that doing what that person is doing, saying what that person is saying, mimicking that person is going to get them the same results. Now, in 3D, it may have gotten you similar results because 3D is a counterfeit realm. Outside of this realm, that does not work. You have to utilize authenticity. Only your unique key will fit the lock to get out of here. It takes you being your own authentic self and forging your own path. Now, there's a template. There's a basic instruction template that everybody, that will work for everybody. But your unique path, the thing that will actually turn on your magic and put you in the flow with the quantum field, is your uniqueness, which means you have to do the work. You have to do the work. I see a lot of people thinking, oh, this person, I see they got a lot. Let me follow them because they must have the answer. They must have the shortcut. And like I said, I give cheat codes. I've heard people say there are no cheat codes. Well, that's because they ain't found them. There are cheat codes in the Matrix. There absolutely are. That's what the star seeds are here to do, is to show you there are cheat codes. But because of the fact that you did not have the manual, you didn't have like the actual instructions, because the real instructions were removed. When I give you these instructions, you're going to realize that, oh my God, it's ways out everywhere. I just did not know. I have to know that when I'm put in certain situations, there's always a door. There's always something here that I can use in order to get out. And they show you some of this stuff in the movies. They'll show you stuff. As a matter of fact, in the Matrix movie, every time he was in trouble, there was always a phone booth, and he could use the phone booth to get himself out. That's the way this matrix works. There's always a door. There's always something. When you're in trouble, there's always something in your perimeter that you can utilize to get you out that system. I mean, to get you out that situation. But you don't know that, right? But I just said it's cheat codes. The people who will tell you it's no cheat codes have not discovered them yet, because this is higher level information. All right. Hopefully, as I go through my star seed manual, I'm going to reveal some of these things, and that way you can start applying them in your life practically, and you will begin to see that these little things, these little tricks and tips and cheat codes actually do work, and it's not as hard as you would normally think they are once you apply them. But you have to apply. You cannot be a sloth, and you cannot be lazy doing this work, and you can't cheat off nobody else's paper. That's the key. You can't cheat off nobody else's paper, and so many people think that you can because that worked in 3D. That does not work now. You're going to have to do it yourself, and when you do it yourself, what you'll find is your own higher guidance will show you things that will work just for you and nobody else. That's what I mean by that door. You'll be able to see in your own personal reality what worked. It may work for others and it may not. But when your higher guidance gives it to you, it's a key, it's a unique code for you to master whatever that thing is you're supposed to be getting over. Okay? In order to become the prime creator, you must bring your wishes into reality. In our minds, the only things that are real are the things we can see with our eyes right now in this minute. Anything else is considered an illusion. I was just having a conversation with my husband earlier where we were talking about the shooting that happened with this young white boy. He went to the grocery store and shut up all these black people, and my husband had made a comment about, people are kind of nervous, you don't want to go to the grocery store and let that, happen to you. And one of the things I told him is that we don't live in that type of reality. We do not live in that reality. I said, you only go by your experiences and the things that you can see with your own eyes in your right now moment. And right now, when you look around at our life is perfect. I mean, everybody gets along, black, white, red, brown, everybody gets along that we need. There's always an abundance of food available. Look at those things, because a lot of times right now in the collective consciousness believes that white supremacy and police brutality is the problem. But if you ask the majority of the black people that believe that, how many times have you seen actual police brutality with your own eyes? With your own eyes, in your own right now reality, 9 times out of 10, 9 out of 10 of them will say they have never seen it if they're telling the truth. They've only seen it on the news, and they've seen it on repeat, on loop. The news does that for a reason, because your controllers are over the news, so they want to present and they want you to create this atmosphere of fear, first of all, because people who are scared all the time are easily controllable. If they say, oh my God, there's a shooting that took place over on the north side, people gonna stop going to the north side, and they can control the herd that way. So y'all following me? You have to live your life in this right now moment, not what you see on the news, not what you heard about in the past, none of that stuff. You have to live for right now, today. And what happens is the ethers will begin to create more and more of that. When you get up and you say, I'm grateful and thankful for a clear blue sky with fluffy white clouds and butterflies and birds singing, my life is wonderful and amazing, the ether looks at that as an order and a request for more of that, because you're putting your emotion and words and thought energy toward that. That's how you do that. Another reason why the collective consciousness is experiencing what they're experiencing is because the controllers are constantly feeding them scripts, constantly feeding them spells in their music, and they listen to, I hate you, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna blow your head off, and this, that, and the other, and I kill a nigga, over and over and over and over again, and then they go into their reality and they act that out. Like automatons, they are being controlled, bots, by the very music they listen to, and then they'll turn around and wonder why the hoods and black communities are the way they are, because you are being controlled, you're being programmed by the very music that you listen to on loop all day. So you turn around and listen to self-defeating music, deaf culture music, and then you turn around and look at the news, and the news will tell you, now, instead of you taking accountability for what it is you're doing, point at that man and blame it on him. It's the police that's killing us. It's the white men that's killing us. When 9 times out of 10, all your friends got RIP t-shirts because somebody did a drive-by, or the person who got killed by his own boys who looked just like him. Think about that. If you want an Escalade, but you earn $7.35 an hour, you haven't yet set down the foundations of how it is the ethers can give you what you want. This is a team effort. That means you must start somewhere. Take that first step towards your reality in physical form. As soon as you physically write down on a piece of paper what it is you want to see, you now begin bringing your etheric thoughts across the veils from your actual awareness in the deity planes and into your physical manifestation. So listen, for some of you all who have followed my podcast, when I was telling you how I manifested my house and several other things, I wrote it down. There was listen, we were in such a bad financial situation until the regular conscious mind, like the carnal mind, would have just been like, girl, it ain't no way. Don't even hurt your feelings by trying to get a house. We were in such a bad financial situation until, for me to even have that thought, I knew it wasn't from me. I knew it was a higher power. But I wrote it down. I went and printed out a picture of a beautiful home, and this was so far out of my financial realm, it was out of my tax bracket. But I went and I printed that house off. I found a picture of it. I was at my job. I printed it off, and I wrote up on the top, Habakkuk 3:3. That was the scripture. I was a Christian at the time. And it said, write the vision and make it plain so that anybody who is passing by can see what you believe in for. I wrote that thing out and I put it on my desk and I put it right by the door. Everybody who came in there, the first thing they would see when they started talking to me was this house. And for some reason, everybody would say this. And I'm talking about everybody. From my big boss down to the janitor would come in there and be like, oh, you buying a house? Now at this time I had no idea that I was buying a house, but I would say yes, I'm going, because back then I knew to speak those things that be not as though they were. And I said, yes, I'm getting a house. And they would say, oh, really, when? I said, I don't know, but touch an agreement with me. And we will literally hold hands, touch an agreement with me, because I'm believing that everything going to work out. And they would say, okay. And I would say, amen. And they go about their business. What was I doing? At the time, I was just following the instructions of my higher guidance. I did not know anything about manifestation. Matter of fact, I didn't know the word manifestation used in this context. But I was manifesting. I had written it down because that's what the scripture said. Write it down. This is why when I see people dismissing the Bible, throwing out their Bible, I'm like, yeah, you ain't came up high enough, because once you come up high enough, you'll realize it's cheat codes in the Bible. This is a cheat code. Writing it down physically. See, people don't then realize it until Erykah Badu said it. When Erykah Badu said it, everybody was like, oh, I'm going to write it down. Write me a spell. Honey, they was telling you this back in Habakkuk, if I'm pronouncing it right, Habakkuk 3:3. Write it down. And it said, write it big too. So when people running by, they'll see what you believing for. And what are we doing? Other people, when they read it and they have a thought, they're connecting their thought form to yours. They're connecting their thought energy to yours. So what you do is you put individuals around you who want the best for you. And at that time, I think I was pregnant or something like, yeah, I was pregnant. So yeah, you know how people treat pregnant women, honey. I said, I'm believing for a house because I want my son to have some place to run and play. Everybody was like, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, I believe that for you. All those people was putting their thought energy towards my goal, my heart's desire. So that's another reason. If you got somebody in your camp and you know they hating, get them from around you. Don't tell them your business. Don't let them know nothing, because that energy can work the opposite way as well. When you're not strong enough, now you can get to a certain level to where them people can't even touch you. But if you got a hater around you and you know they're a secret hater, they say the right things, but you can feel you like something ain't right. Yeah, they hating. Stop telling them your progress. Stop telling them what you believe in for. Stop telling them what you're trying to get, because just they hater energy that sound like, why I ain't got that? Why I ain't got that? That type of stuff, I take note of that and then I move accordingly. And you should too, move accordingly, because you don't have to be done nothing to a hater. A hater just mad at themselves because they haven't moved, I guess they be thinking they should be further along than they are, but that's not your fault. That's not your fault at all. So, like I said, just act accordingly, move accordingly when you find people like that. And that's one of the reasons why I had to tell my friend Tiny, please stop coming in here with that, because I'm hyper focused on getting this house. I can't see nothing else. Like, I got tunnel vision. And when you come in here and you tell me those things, it brings me down, sis. It brings me down. And I'm trying to stay on a high note. You will learn that keeping a high frequency and vibration is another cheat code to manifestation. You cannot manifest something that is a high frequency manifestation from a low frequency. Again, listen to what I'm saying clearly, because I can hear y'all. Some of y'all saying, but you just said that you can manifest the wrong thing. Yes, you can. You can manifest BS all day. That's what people do all day. They manifest negative stuff, destructive stuff. They manifest they're manifesting low stuff. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I had a conversation with the goddess the other day, and I was telling her, manifesting money, that's not a big thing. Don't ever think that just because somebody can manifest money, that they must be this super spiritual, high divine person. No, because money is low hanging fruit. Anybody can manifest money. You can create an OnlyFans and go manifest money. That's low hanging fruit. You can shake your butt and get money. That's what a lot of strippers do. And they get paid sometimes $1,000 to $5,000 a night. Money created by your controllers is low hanging fruit to keep you from aspiring to more. Abundance is a high frequency manifestation. Abundance. And when I say abundance, I mean having an overflow of more than what you need on every level. Okay, that's in your relationships, that is in your refrigerator, that is in your tank, that is your roof over your head, that is being in the right place at the right time. Whenever you need something, somebody just there automatically, just miraculously to give you what you need. Answers coming when you can't figure a situation out. Waking up with information, that is true abundance. Don't let nobody tell you or fake you out and make you think that just because they have money that they're a high spiritual person. They're not. Money has no value. It's abundance. Currency has a value. Currency. And the minute that people determine or say that the dollar is no longer valuable is the minute that it goes away. Currency you cannot stop, because currency and abundance comes from the universe. Okay? All right. Now, the ether, once you write it down on a piece of paper physically, the ether cannot ignore it. It can't pass it off to another ether particle or dismiss it, because you are their only commander and you have set the wheels in motion to begin manifesting or creating that reality, making it perfectly clear that this is what you want. This is the key to every successful person alive. You will never find a self-made millionaire or someone successful at anything who didn't take this first step. It will not happen. It is known as the secret in success training. They don't know why this works. They only know that it does. But I'm here to tell you, and I'm going to tell you why it works in this information. The ether exists at your pleasure in court parlance, meaning they only exist because you allow them to. They are your servants, and at the same time, they are the outer cells or the plasma field of your own body. As above, so below. You are the ether itself, and with one piece of your awareness now standing there in a holographic avatar. So your body, this is another reason why I just mentioned to you, your frequency plays a huge part in being able to manifest. So many people be trying to tell me, well, I eat what I want to eat, and I still talk to my spirits, and I still manifest. Nah, you probably be manifesting, but you be manifesting some counterfeits, because the counterfeit is always ready to come in and be like, okay, who you need me to be Jesus? Let me put this on my head. Let me put this crown on. Okay, holier than thou, how are you? What do you want me to do for you? And then your stupid tail thinking that you're talking to Jesus and you're talking to a counterfeit that is a trickster that will become anything you need to become, because the first thing he's going to say is, oh, you want me to do something for you? Can you give me an offering and can you pour me out some libations? Now, I'm making light of it. I know some of y'all probably going to get mad, but guess what? I'm here to tell you the truth. There is no divine being out there who needs anything from you. Not no cigar, not no liquor, not no cornbread and cabbage. I'm going to need y'all to cut that out. There's not a divine being out there that needs you to give it some food. That's a lower entity that's trying to get where you are. And they need you to open up portals so that they can get up here and enjoy this physical realm. That should be your first tip. But anyway, I digress. The ethers are your servants. Now, this is in your body. I was telling my son that your blood plasma, okay, is the light source. Your blood plasma is it's another word that I was trying to, that was right at the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. Your blood plasma is the ether. It is the life force, and it's a word I can't think of, but your body is connected to that. The yellow stuff that's in your blood that floats to the top, which is really what them blood banks be after, that is your life force energy. And one of the ways that they keep us rooted and grounded in 3D is by tainting our blood. This is one of the reasons why they put iron in everything, even baby formula, because iron roots and grounds you to the planet, and because it lodges in your cells, the plasma is depleted. You have less amount of life force energy. Now you can manifest using that. You can manifest using your life force and plasma energy, which is another reason why, and I'm not going to go into it in this teaching, But people seem to not be able to understand how lascivious sex and just out there all willy-nilly and doing all of that defeats their whole divine walk. It's like I'm sitting here going, how you trying to do both at the same time? Like, you can't do that. And unless you absolutely know what you're doing, that doesn't go hand in hand, because your whole sexual energy, that orgasm that you have, is life force energy. And every time you deplete that in the wrong way, you're giving out your life force energy. This is where you manifest from. This is why the distortion has come in that, oh, girl, you can manifest with sex. And so people out here saying, oh, we need to have more sex. That's from the false white light. They're not telling you the small print. They're not telling you that you need to have a divine counterpart that you're doing that with. Otherwise, if you haven't connected in through their breath and through their heart frequency resonance, that's what the tantra is. If you haven't done that whole process and then you just gonna get up and hump on somebody and tell them, let's manifest through our organ, girl, you gonna manifest Papa Liver, and that's that. You're not gonna manifest nothing worth having. You might manifest a little bit of money, but I just informed you that don't take a lot. Anybody can manifest money. It's low hanging fruit, and it's a counterfeit and an illusion. How many people done got money and then you be looking like, dang, girl, you making $5,000 a day? But yet and still you go to work. You constantly going to work. Like, at what point do you have to stop working? Do you get to stop working? How much do you really have to do? How much do you really need? How much do you need? Because you really don't need that much when you're living on a high frequency. In 3D, you need a lot. You know why? Because you got to keep up appearances for everybody else. When you get up into the higher realms, you realize none of that stuff matters, because everything is depleting. Everything is degrading every day. Got to keep getting a car fixed. Got to get a new car because now it's rusty. Got to do this. Got to do that. In 3D, when you manifest and you manifest the right way, those things don't get destroyed and you don't lose them. All right, anyway, let's press on. Okay, so you made the avatar. You made the landscape. You hung the moon and painted the clouds in the sky. And if you wish to manifest the fourth dimension or fifth dimension, then you will simply go about making that a reality in your physical world. That starts by using the same tools that your controllers or your captives use when they set out to create a chimera reality around you. They wrote it down. As a matter of fact, when you look at the news, that's them constantly reprocessing, reprogramming, that's the right word, reprogramming their program. They're doing it over and over. No wonder they'll show you a murder, and they'll show it to you, right? They let you see it. They see the police walking up on a person and bam, shoot the man right in the chest. They'll show it, and they put it on repeat over and over and over and over and over. And then the words flash up on the screen. Words be flashing up on the screen. Y'all don't even know. Sigils be running in the background. They be doing the countdown to put you in a beta state rather, so that they can program things into your mind. Every time they switch between segments, if you're paying attention, I'll show you them sigils. It's a clock ticking in the background, countdown. Subliminals, the colors, red and blue, are always on the screen. They are putting you in, is it theta state or beta state? I can't remember. I think they're putting you in beta state so that everything that they tell you is being programmed in your mind. This is black magic. This is black magic, and y'all are not aware of it at all. Anyway, once that command was entered into the manifested side of 3D, where you are now, that now becomes the seed that your goal will grow out of. Okay? This is the big secret behind the seeds that we plant in the ground. They're capsules of written down commands. That's the DNA. DNA is a code. Commands in physical form that states once water surrounds this seed, it will germinate. It will become a apple. It will become, that's the code, that's DNA. Okay? It's a cellular code to the space-time fabric. And you can make your own seeds just by using a piece of paper, a physical piece of paper, a real piece of paper, and a pencil, which is carbon, or the foundation of material matrix. Now all you have to do is water that seed with your intent and an action. When y'all saw me go and look at my RV, I had already written it down what I wanted. And when me and my husband went on vacation, I said, let's make sure that we try to schedule a time where we go and we actually do a physical action, because that shows the intention of you getting your heart's desire. You write it down, and then you have to do a physical action. Okay? That's putting energy behind your request, or putting energy behind your command. Let's say that, okay? Because we don't request anything. This is what the Bible, the controllers have you doing in the Bible, asking the Lord, oh Lord, if you could just please bless me with this and the other. And the ethers are going, what? We are your servants. We're here at your command. You don't ask for nothing. You command the ethers. Well, you can do it nicely though. But you just command the ethers, and you write down, I have in present tense, because we living in this right now moment. We're not living. See, as long as you putting out there, I want, then you're always going to be wanting it. It's going to always be just right there. You'll never be able to get it and grab it, because if you tell the ethers that you want something, you're going to see your neighbor get it. You're going to see everybody else get it but you. You have to say it as if it's right now and as if you already have it, and the ethers will go ahead and order that up, okay? So if you can't envision that seed growing into the tree you want it to from where you are standing in your job, where you was changing your honor for a few pieces of silver, let's say, or pumping poison gasoline that will wind up killing both the planet and your fellow fractals or your friends, and then change your landscape. By the time you have thought out your commands and chosen which hill you are now willing to die on to protect it, the ether will see your integrity, your virtue, and your authenticity. And because you are willing to accept personal responsibility for every single element in your life, it will hand to you what it is you have chosen as the world in which you absolutely, as a matter of fact, will live and will not take no for an answer. Period. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to wrap it up right here, because where we at? Almost an hour. It's a long time. So, with that being said, you notice that it said the ethers wants to see your integrity, your virtue, and your authenticity. And I cannot say that enough. So many people, and this is why I sit back, this is why I really don't have a whole bunch of friends and stuff, because I see how people be moving. And I'm sitting here going, you can't do this being a hypocrite. You cannot do this trying to pretend like you're somebody that you're not, because you cannot lie to the ethers. You can't fool the ethers. You can fool your boss, you can fool your mama and them, but you cannot fool the ethers. The ethers goes off of your heart frequency vibration. This is why when you do something, you have to put the emotion behind it. They will tell you when you do the action, you got to feel the emotion. That's the cheat code. You got to feel the emotion as if you already got it. How would it feel when you bring home your brand new car? You're going to be jumping around going, oh my God, oh my God. That's literally how you have to act, as if you have it already. You can't fake that. You can't fake that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't literally, you can, but you can't. You can't fake that feeling if the heart is not attached to it. So if it's something that you see somebody else have and you're trying to get it and you're getting it from a place of lack or jealousy or greed, which means you coveting somebody's stuff, that frequency, right? It's hard to nail it down, but that frequency is translated in your heart because you're manifesting from the wrong intention. When you're manifesting from the right intention, which is your heart, because it's your true heart desire, not simply just because somebody else got it. That's your ego that's ordering stuff. That's your ego saying, oh, I want that because they think they better than me. Go sit down. That's what the ether's going to say to you. Have a seat, and you come back when you authentic with integrity and virtue, and you want this simply because it's going to help you do a better workout in the community. And here's another cheat code, and I'm going to wrap it up. The quickest way to get the ethers or the alternative space, they call it ethers. We're going to call it the alternative space because that's the name of our podcast and that's our whole little name behind everything. When you manifest something or when you put your request out to the ethers sees that request and it feels your heart intention and it goes to creating for you. That is where everything comes from. Your negative vibration is rejected by the ethers because this is the alternative space. This is the quantum field. And it operates based on universal laws and principles. And the quickest way for you to get the alternative space to work on your behalf is to be working for others, service to others. Now, when you get to service to others, you will soon realize that service to others is really service to all, because service to others should include yourself too. All right? So when you ask for something genuinely, you need to be asking for that very same thing for someone else. Is there somebody else around in your life who may need a vehicle? Pray for them too. Or not pray, but write something down for them too. Write something down so that your community can benefit. What is it that you want your community to get? You know? And let it be. It's easy to say, oh, I want peace in the world. Okay, I want peace for the whole world. No, because that's easy. Ask for something for that bum that's always asking you for something. That bum who always wants something. Put a request out into the ethers for him. Put a request out into the ethers for the mother-in-law that you can't get along with, that you can't seem to get along with. Put a request for her, and it don't have to be just materialistic stuff. You can put a request out there for people's health, anybody, but I implore you to let it be somebody who is probably hard to love, somebody who you would never think of, somebody that you would overlook. Put a frequency out, attach that to your desire, and watch how fast you get it. All right, I hope y'all learned something. If you stuck with me this long, I hope you learned something because I dropped a lot of jewels, and I will be. I'm going to continue to teach in this way and drop these little nuggets out, and hopefully you was writing them down and you will start applying them into your life practically so that you can see real changes immediately. We go into 5D. Some of y'all gonna sit in 4D for a minute because you have to learn some of these things that I just told you, but it's all good. Everything works out for your benefit. So even if you do sit in 4D for a while, trust me, you'll be all the better for it. It's not a punishment. Hey, we all did it. We all did it. Don't look at somebody else's walk or how far somebody else has come and think that you got to catch up to them. You right where you need to be. Okay? So with that being said, I love y'all. Peace, love, and blessings, Divine Naga.